Good morning to all of you. Welcome to Legal Matters by Sai Babu Sunkara. In this video, we are going to discuss the repealing of security law in Hong Kong as is suggested by the United Nations Human Rights Committee. The Vice President of Human Rights Committee, Mr. Christopher Arif Balkan, he urged the government of Hong Kong to take action for repealing the national security law. And in the meantime, the government may refrain taking action under the law. Why these things are happening? Why they have advised the Hong Kong newly formed government, which was a British colony and which was handed over to China. Right. Now we have to go to the ICCPR, International Covenants on the Civil and Political Rights, 1966. Of course, they came into existence in 1976, but you can call them as 1966. Prior to that, UDHR was there, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, but it is not a legally binding document. The articles mentioned, 30 articles are there. They are not legally enforceable. Nobody will be there to enforce it. But the advantage of ICCPR or UDHR is that they will be established a human rights committee. So ICCPR gives provision for the establishment of the Human Rights Committee, which will monitor the progress of the articles given in the ICCPR as well as ICSCR. ICCPR, no, International Covenant, Convention on the Civil and Political Rights. Likewise, ICESCR, that is International Convention on the Social, Economic and Cultural Rights. Now, the Human Rights Committee, they will be monitoring the human rights in the, of course, which are being enforced by the member or signatory nations. Of course, Hong Kong is one of the signatories to the ICCPR, but till now, in whose custody, in whose care it was? China. So China is not a member of the ICCPR. Anyway, you all know that during the year 2019, there were series of agitations, particularly in Hong Kong city, against to the rule of China. Of course, the person who was ruling Hong Kong at that particular time, or the special officer, was pro-China. So therefore, lot many protests they have taken place. You might have seen in the press. And to curb the same, the National Security Law, this is important. The National Security Law 2019 was actually promulgated or was enforced in Hong Kong. But now the situation is different. There is a calmly atmosphere. Therefore, the UN Human Rights Committee asks or urges the government of the so-called Hong Kong. So please remember, you were previously under the impression that the law will restore stability in the city or in that particular colony, that is Hong Kong, because it rocked the city for months together by the violent protesters. Now the situation is not that. Therefore, please try to repeal the law. Of course, it's not that easy to repeal the law. Therefore, please try to make amendments to the law. Either repeal the law or make the amendments law, and refrain from enforcing the law till it reaches the logical conclusion. Right? So, please remember, this is a very good suggestion. Of course, United Nations Organization is an elderly organization which gives advices, that's all. So the UNHRC, one of the organizations of UNO, they have recommended to repeal or at least amend the National Security Bill, National Security Law, which was enforced till recently and still enforced by the British colony Hong Kong. Of course, now it is in China. Now it is liberated literally. So therefore, the urge or the request or the suggestion from the UNHRC, that is Christopher Arif Balkan. He urged the country to repeal the law and at least refrain from enforcing the law. Right? So this is an important point as well as the human rights topic is concerned. That's why ICCPR is there. Yes, definitely it gives position from the United Nations Human Rights Committee. Okay, UDHR, it's not that enforceable. Therefore, I am making this video. You see, the United Nations, how it is focusing emphasis on the human rights. Okay, right. If you know this much, it is sufficient. So ultimately, the UNHRC urges the government of Hong Kong to repeal the national security law or at least make amendments to the law and till such time refrain from enforcing the law. These 3 points are very important. Please note them and definitely you will be enriched with the international law points also as well as the human right. Thank you very much.